Welcome to the pre-workshop video on the workshop titled Data Visualization with R. This video is an introduction to data visualization. So before discussing why data visualization is important, we first need to define what is data visualization. Well, as the name suggests, data visualization may be drawing plots that summarizes the contents of your data. And the purpose of data visualization is to deliver information at a first glance. So the principle behind data visualization is to let the data speak. We all know that human beings not only think using language, we also think using graphs. And plotting the data in graphs will help us to digest information. Now let's see some examples. The first plot is about European unemployment rates. You can see that the right panel is a map of Europe, and in each country, the color represents the unemployment rate, and the closer the color to the blue, that means the higher the unemployment rate is. And this information is summarized numerically on the left panel, where the rate is ranked from the highest to the lowest. And from this plot, we not only get a sense of how the unemployment rate is distributed geographically, we can also see the numerical relation between the rates from different countries. For example, taking the country Australia, which has the lowest unemployment rate as an example. It is roughly centered in the center of Europe, and this information is hard to deliver, or at least it's not as efficient as delivering this information using graphs rather than using languages. So the first feature of data visualization is to deliver the geographical information or other graphical information that is hard to express using language. The second example is the evacuation zones around Fukushima nuclear plant. The left panel shows a map of Japan, and you can see some contour lines here representing different distances from the plant in miles. And the right panel includes the possible radiation exposure and also the possible effects together with the population before earthquake. And you can also see in the lower panel is a summarized comparing Japanese and American evacuation zones, where the deeper color representing the larger estimated population per square mile. So in the right panel, four pieces of information are delivered. And this is the second feature of data visualization, that is to use a single plot to deliver multiple pieces of information simultaneously. Well, data visualization not only delivers geographical information, but also temporal information. And here is the third example. This is the total deaths by month in America. It doesn't matter which region these deaths are collected. What matters is the temporal information. You can see the data is collected from 2008 to 2012, and it's divided into three categories using three kinds of blues. So in this single plot, horizontally, you can compare how the death rates varies with the change of time and also with the increment of total troops deployed. And vertically, you can compare the deaths from the three categories. So that is the third feature of data visualization. It is to compare different units from data sets of the same feature simultaneously within one plot. Well, we have discussed the three features of data visualization, and it is possible that data visualization have more features. But is data visualization simply drawing plots? Well, that is not the case. So here we take the data set of life expectancy as an example. This dataset is collected by country from the World Health Organization and spans from 2000 to 2015. So if you simply adopt the previous logic, that is to draw the dataset to plot the life expectancy simply against the time, then you will get a really nasty graph here, which looks like spaghetti. That is because we have a lot of countries collected. And if we squeeze every information into simple one plot, then this will become really difficult to read and it will not achieve your goal of communicating your information. So how can we deal with that? Because this dataset is collected by country, a simple ad hoc remedy may be to plot them country by country, just like Figure 5 shows. Well, here now the life expectancy within each plot is a simple line. It is easy to read if you can zoom in. But meanwhile, it is still difficult to compare because we have so many plots, and each plot have different features that we want to investigate. So how can we further reduce such plots to make it simpler and more efficient to show your information? A solution is to plot the data against the time and summarize the information from countries using a distribution. So here, instead of plotting all the countries, we simply need the distribution of countries within each year. So that means we drop the names of the countries and only calculate the counts of the values and plot them using histogram. Well, the 16 figures here are much easier to compare and read compared to the previous one. But however, there is still 16 figures, and it is not easy for us to digest at a simple glance for all the information plotted here. So a further simplification for such information is to use box plots. So the previous spaghetti plot now is summarized in a simple plot where for each year we provide a box plot. The box plot represents your quantiles and your median. So the upper bound is the upper part of the box is the 25% quantile, and the black line here is your median. And the lower part is 75% quantile. And the black point here represents outliers. So here, horizontally, it is much easier for us to compare the median and also all the quartiles that varies with time compared to the previous distribution. And this plot uses the advantage of box plot to summarize a lot of pieces of information using only one plot. This demonstrates the necessity and power of data visualization. Well, now let's revisit what is data visualization. Instead of simply drawing all the values in a plot, data visualization is actually telling the story of your data and to select the important pieces of information to effectively communicate with others. As a quote from Harvard Data Science Review, data visualization is not a matter of drawing a single optimal graphic, and actually such graphic may not even exist. Instead, data visualization is a matter of choosing a group of graphics that will provide more information. So it is not simply learning how to plot your data using some specific coding commands. Actually, it's telling you and also teaching you what pieces of information is important and what kind of command can be used to plot that information. And this certainly requires you some experience in your own field to identify which information is of the most concern. So in this workshop, I will guide you through a recap on downloading R, the tool that we will use to perform all the plots, and loading some data sets so that you don't need to prepare your own. And we will walk through some basic plots using built-in R functions. We will also compare the previous built-in R functions with a handy R package called ggplot2. And this will demonstrate how this package can help us to improve the appearance and also the communication of our plots. So that's the end of the introduction. See you in the workshop.